Assalamu alaikum, it's me, Salam Sabi, and this video is about basically putting brothers on blast on Facebook. If some of you sisters on Facebook, there's a page out there that basically posts pictures of supposedly no good Muslim brothers. And they're not just posting a picture, they're actually putting out a description of him and where he lives and what he's done. And one thing I found in common with almost all of these stories is a complete lack of fear of Allah. Like, nobody fears Allah. It was just a lot of corruption. Now, I don't know if these stories are true or not. I don't think the site is necessarily verifying, but if everybody else and their mama is agreeing that you're no good, then I guess that would be the general agreement. As we know, we Muslims, we are not supposed to backbite or to gossip. Now, when it comes to marriage, we are allowed to tell the brother or sister the truth about who they're going to marry. You know, it's kind of like it's our duty to do so, but it's done behind closed doors, you know, within a respectable manner. Personally, I have mixed feelings about this site. I know in my heart, well, I can't even say in my heart, I know in the Quran and Sunnah that the site is wrong. You know, the site causes fitna, but at the same time, there was a sister who was going to consider marrying a certain brother whose picture had been posted on that page, and she reconnected with one of his ex-wives, and she basically decided that it wasn't worth marrying him, you know. And so this is just my thought. I personally think that the problem is coming from because the community is not stepping up, and it's not, I don't know, it's not defending, it's not protecting the sisters. It's basically pushing sisters to marry quickly and not to really take time to get to know who exactly they're marrying. You have to be very careful who you marry. Just like our prophet said, may peace and blessings be upon him, he clearly stated that, you know, that the Ummah would not be the same as, I forgot, was it the first or second generation of Muslims. We are living in a society where we abuse everything. We eat too much, we have sex too much, we argue too much. This is an obsessive society. Obsessive. People just want more and more and more. And one thing that all of these brothers had in common also was polygyny, abusing polygyny. One brother had been married 20 times. Astaghfirullah. 20 times. 20 times. And he had a sex buddy who was also a Muslim. Astaghfirullah. People, I mean, have some type of shame. You know, have some type of fear of Allah. Because this is crazy. Like, brothers marrying on and off, on and off, on and off. And the scary part is, it's within their own community. It's not like they're reaching out. They're actually doing this within their own community where people know who they are. You know, I don't... Now, as Muslims, when you divorce somebody, you're supposed to go in peace and not speak any ill, you know, unless there's a sister or a brother who wants to marry your ex-spouse. Of course, that's when you tell the true character of that person who you were married to. A lot of people claim to be Muslim, but they don't have it in their heart. They know Sunnah, they know Quran, but they don't even know how to treat, other people. How can you stand there in front of the masjid speaking Arabic, reciting, ayats and hadith, but your heart is cold, and you've basically taken Islam and turned it into Islam. You're basically doing whatever you want to do. You're reconstructing Islam so it fits you. How can an imam stand there and marry a brother who's been married 7, 6, 8, 9 times? There has to be some responsibility taken within our community. It's absolutely ridiculous to know how many times some people have been married. And yes, Allah is most merciful, and He's our final judge. But at the same time, you will have to answer to some of the things that you've done in this world. How can you sit there, have your wife on welfare and food stamps, and you're marrying 2, 3, 4 women? It's astaghfirullah. And I would like to say this does not apply to all Muslims, okay? I've only seen this within certain Islamic communities. What I've noticed is that each culture of people have their own their own issues, okay? Every culture, like African Americans have their own issues, Pakistanis have their own issues, Egyptians have their own issues. We all have our own cultural issues. I'm just seeing polygyny being used as a way to have halal sex. It's just not in all cases, but in some. And it's just really, really sad that they have to create a Facebook page to put brothers on blast. And the sad thing about it is that you can't necessarily verify if it's true or not. But when you got sisters sitting there saying, "Oh he's been married 20 times, he's been married 10 times, yeah, he beats his wife, he does this, he does that," and so many sisters go to the imam and they ask for help, but nobody wants to be responsible for breaking up a marriage. It has to be something extreme where a sister is granted a khula. So it's just, my hands are shaking. I need to change hands. Hold on, let me change hands. All right. I think my fingers in front of this plane. But really, in some places, it's just simply out of control. And we need to take more responsibilities for our actions. And once a brother's reputation has been almost completely ruined within his own community, he hits the internet. Oh, that's another place. They hit the internet. They find gullible sisters who will believe anything that they say, especially new shahadas. We always fall victims to dudes who spit mad game. And for people who don't know what game is, it's basically someone who promises you, the sun and the stars and the moon, and when you marry him, the only thing he has is a garbage dump. He's not about, anything. He may act like a good Muslim for a few weeks, a few months, but then after that, the truth comes out. And believe me, baby, the truth is never cute, okay? That's what I've noticed. Like, sisters, one thing, if a man is claiming all of these wonderful things, he needs to have evidence to back it up. Like, one brother said he owned, his own business. Reality was, no, he works at his brother's business and he gets paid under the table. Technically, he doesn't even have a real job. So sister wouldn't marry him and found out he didn't really have nothing in the first place. He was still staying with his mom, and then she, of course, ended up leaving him because she realized that he had lied about everything. He not only lied, it was just people. We need to start fearing Allah. You know, I mean, I understand that we have